Coach, to come away with a point and execute in the shootout, how big was that for the team after they tied it up in the third?
Yeah, it was a it's funny the game sometimes, right? You played pretty well there for about 50 minutes, and those back-to-back shifts there where we had a couple costly turnovers, and we were able to kind of calm things down there for a little bit, and then we had to, like what a kill with the whole 5-minute major, and our penalty kill has been kind of up and down the last little bit, and to see them come through and different guys, we shook up our lineup from last night and put a lot of new guys in, a lot of guys out, and had guys contribute in a lot of different fashions, starting with obviously Christian Stover and net, and Cole Moore did a great job coming in for him there, and all the guys. So from the net out, it's probably not how you always script and win, but you'll take wins and points in every weekend's very important.
Just expanding on the goaltending play, I mean, Christian did outstanding. Cole has to come in and he executes as well. And then obviously in the shootout does really well. Just how critical. I mean, they have so much experience, but they both really performed well tonight, I felt.
Yeah, they were they had to make some tough saves. Right now I thought we did, for the most part, a pretty good job keeping them the outside shots. We had to do a much better job managing pucks on rebounds. I thought we gave them back the pucks sometimes a little too easy. And when we had breakdowns, both, Christian and Cole did a really good job. And, in order to win, in order to have a great team, you got to have good goaltending, right? And we're fortunate, obviously, to see Christian back in the lineup, and played really well, in his time there. And then, as you said, to have Cole be able to hop back in after last night and going in cold like that and being able to stand tall in net and go right into a 5-minute major, pretty close to that, and then the shootout and overtime. So, real kudos to him and his maturity, being able to put, last night behind him and move forward.
Any update on Christian?
No.
No. Was he injured this first part of the year?
Yeah, he just got back. This was his first game.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then obviously second period, I mean, to score that early into the power play, I think it was like 12 seconds into it to capitalize that early. How big was that, especially since that was the first power play of the game for you guys?
Yeah, it's same thing last night. We had some good looks. I liked our zone time. We just didn't get the goals last night. Tonight we were able to execute right off the face-off, which was a nice little set play there that we run down there and to the back door off the goal line. And I think a lot of teams, trying to be quite honest, just whether or not you can execute it or not. It's as simple as 3 passes, but it's not that simple sometimes. And but real good job for the guys. Really lifted our bench. Special teams is such a momentum builder one way or another. So whether it's off a good kill like you saw there in the 5-minute major, even throughout the game, and then the power play. So now we just got to try to generate 5-on-5 goals. So the sooner we, scoring so hard. And it's not from a lack of trying for our guys. And I thought our zone time was good at times, and we had some really good looks in the third period. Again, a couple little breakaways that you find a little tough luck. But what you can't do is quit playing the game right. As I always tell our guys, make sure you have something that you can hang your hat on at the end of the night. And that's normally your play without the puck, your attitude, your compete, your body language, your shift time. If you do all those things, I think good things follow you.
You talk about the hockey gods sometimes too, Coach, and that second goal, I mean, it took a funny bounce off the boards, didn't it? And it just kind of, one of those bounces kind of went your way, it seemed like.
Yeah, like that has to be fixed. Like that happened against us in the first period. And that's unacceptable to me. You can't have, that's unfortunate. Then we'll take advantage of that. But I can assure you, if it's the other way around, I wouldn't be very happy. So again, we need to have the best ice, best facilities. That board needs to be fixed because it happens, time and time again. And that could be the difference of a team missing, the playoffs, team getting put out in the playoffs. And I wouldn't want that on my shoulders, off that. So definitely something that we reap the benefits of. And we've also been on the other side of it. So it was kind of good to get a friendly bounce there.
Talk a little bit about the thought process going into who's going to go 3-on-3, and then when you had to go into a shootout as well, the thought process, who's going to get those 3 shots?
Well, I have a little Yahtzee box. No, I'm joking. Like it was one of those, right, where you kind of see who's had a good stick, who's feeling. So Brody Waters had the shootout goal in St. Thomas for us, had a really nice play. Obviously he's a guy that has good hands, good vision, good poise with the puck that you saw there. Brett Foe has scored on a penalty shot. He's had good looks in the shootout as well. Mr. Blake would have been probably the next one there almost for me, as we saw what he was able to do for us in St. Thomas. So, again, I watch a lot of practice, and as much as players sit there and they all want to go shoot in the shootout, well, then show me why you need to shoot. It just doesn't go because you're a grad student, senior, freshman, junior. Like you earn that opportunity by just daily watching you, see what type of moves you have, what type of poise you have. So obviously tonight, real big goals by both those guys, and real big saves by Cole Moore, to help us. Like I don't know, I've been in a lot of shootouts in the last 5 years, and my time in Everett, we were terrible. We were the highest offensive team probably scoring, but we never won a shootout. So to be able to, I don't know if I've ever been in one where we scored the first two and we had the first two saves. So that was kind of weird for me to experience that. But it was a good experience, and hopefully if we have another one again, it goes that way.
Obviously, Christian had to go out, but 60 shots on goal. You talk about puck time a lot, and those goalies were under a barrage of shots today, weren't they?
Yeah. Like for me, I got to dive into that a little bit more, and make sure that, and see what those are. There's times in a game, I love the shot volume game. I'm a big fan of shot volume. This was a game where I think, we had 30 shots maybe, and we're one of the tops in even strength shot attempts, inner slot, in the nation, if you look at Sport Logic through the analytics side. Because I believe the more the goalie's got to go up and down, the more tired they get. I'm also a believer, we talk about depositing pucks in certain areas of the ice. I also think about putting them on net to make that goalie make a save. Then the D don't know where that puck's going, and they got to retreat it with a good forecheck. So, they obviously did a good job shot volume on it. I thought we did a decent job boxing out net front, minimizing their second, third opportunities. But again, time will tell when I get to watch it tomorrow, and I could be totally wrong. And that's what video does for me. It allows me just to go back and kind of take it for what it is. Like last night, not too high or too low, tight, not too high or too low. And we're going to get back to work because we got a tough opponent coming this weekend. We got to go on the road to Mankato, and we know how well they're playing.
Yeah, did you feel like you were making inroads you felt like you were stuck out on the perimeter a bit yesterday, but how much progress did you feel like the team made tonight, just kind of looking back at it?
It's funny, like our schedule's been quite terrible, to say the least. When you have a weekend where you play off, it's hard to get rhythm, and it's hard to get like the monotony. And we talked about yesterday, we weren't connected. Like we didn't play with any connectivity. I didn't think. It seemed like a lot of one-hit wonders, like we kind of talked about. Guys put on the Superman cape and trying to do it themselves, and then frustration leads in. So hopefully now that we can get some games, you start to get some sync going to your game. But I thought we did a much better job, trying to get to the inside. And they do a good job. Like we made a couple adjustments in the offensive zone, seeing how hard they played down low, and got right into kind of a swarm early. So we tried to work on a lot of releases up quickly to the weak side and try to spread them out, off it. And but it wasn't from a lack of trying for our guys. Like there's a lot of times there we had some good looks and we just bobbled the puck, and that happens. So it's overall, like I said, my dad tells me never critique a win, so I'm not going to critique it, and we're going to enjoy it and move on.
Coach, you said yesterday's game was boring from a physicality standpoint. How did you think about your team's physicality in this game?
A little better. I like it a little bit more, though. All right, I thought we did a much better job of being on the right side of the pucks and forwards being physical, off it. I think it's such an important part of the game early on to set the tone and set the pace and set the mindset for our guys. And sometimes, in a case like Scardita there, he takes a 5-minute major, which if you know him, he's super teammate, captain. He's probably felt the worst feeling of his life getting kicked out there with a 5-minute major in a 2-2 game. I can tell you, I've probably had a few of those myself, and it's always a nerve-wracking feeling, but all smiles. Like he's a heart and soul player for us. It was nothing malicious. It was just him playing a hard game, and that happens sometimes. But I don't want him to change the way he plays, the physicality, and when you play on the edge like that, sometimes that does happen, and thankfully there's no injury on the play, and we were able to get the kill.
Yesterday's game, the team talked about having like a slow start. How did you feel about the start to this game, like setting the tone?
Yeah, much better. I thought our guys we started up front were really good. Guys that hadn't played a lot of games for us, came right out and they set the tone for us. And with Johannes and Krieger and Sanawana, like they got on guys and they did their part, to get the guys going. I said that after the first. I said we got to play to their pace and energy level. So real credit to those guys. To me is that they came out and gave us the spark we needed because we were missing that yesterday. And I was real happy with their game, and for some of them it was their first game, in regular season. So yeah, it was good. Like I said, all the way through. Not much right now that I can probably think about what we need to work on. But if you ask me on Monday, I probably have a list for you.
I guess starting off, Brett, to get the point, obviously to execute there in the shootout, just how does that feel to at least be able to salvage a point there after they tied it up?
Yeah, I think taking points off those guys is important. They're a really good team. Obviously, they're ranked amongst the nation right now, and that's somewhere we want to be. So competing with those guys on a nightly basis is something that we strive to do, and hopefully move on from competing to beating them. So that was a step in the right direction, and obviously scoring the goal felt great. So, I mean, a lot of guys, obviously Waters, big one as well, and a lot of guys could have done what I did. So I just happened to be the guy today.
What was the kind of just the focus for the shootout? Obviously, you definitely had some chances, late in third period and the overtime, but to execute like that in overtime or in shootout was really good.
Yeah, we practiced it a lot more than I thought we would. Honestly, when Willie came in, he's a pretty hard-nosed guy, and we do a lot more shootouts in practice than I thought. So I think we're well prepared for that situation, and obviously, we both guys scored. So
then Cole to. Obviously, the two saves in overtime or in shootout were huge, but that last second one in overtime, did that sneak through the pads? Like, take us kind of through that because, 0.6 seconds left and, they fire a pretty decent shot there.
Yeah, he had his back turned to me and just, whipped a backhand on net, but it just got stuck under my pad. I did,
Right.
It's all right. Routine.
Right. Obviously, Christian gets the start, his first action of the year, and plays really, really well. Just a tough little stretch there, but you have to come in, just take us through your mindset, obviously having to step in and really hold them off there.
Yeah, it's hard coming in cold like that, but I have to give credit to our penalty kill. We did an unbelievable job killing that 5 minute, and Stove had an unbelievable game. Like, he was the best player on the ice today, so really got to give him credit.
Yeah, Brett, how big was killing that 5 minute major later on? Because obviously they have momentum. They tied it up there quickly. How big was just holding them off?
I mean, I wish I could say I contributed. I'm not much of a penalty killer, but I was really excited on the bench, and the guys everybody was positive. Everybody was giving attaboys, and I think once we got that kill, it was just a will that we were going to finish the game the right way. So, yeah, it was huge.
Right. You guys were 2 of 2 or a couple power play goals, obviously early on. I think scored 12 seconds into your first one. Just how big was that for you guys, just to get the offense going? Obviously, first period had some chances, but to convert that quickly there in the second period was big.
Yeah, especially after getting shut out yesterday. Like, getting shut out in your own barn is nothing you want to do. So getting one there quick was huge, and then that second one, even if it was a little bit of a lucky bounce, but you don't really ask how. You ask how many, and we'll take those any day of the week.
Yeah, first period, guys, did you feel like you came out with a lot more energy than what you had yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, seeing from the bench, we obviously had a very positive bench. Guys were picking each other up, a lot of energy. That Krieger, Sanawana, and Locke's line did a really good job being physical, so they set the tone early for us.
Yeah, Brett, I was going to ask you. I mean, that was a pretty chaotic sequence with Christian going out and the 5 minute major. What does it take mentally to just kind of step away for a second, slow things down, and say, okay, it's tied. We just got to get out of this situation without anything allowed?
Yeah, I think our group's really tight in there. I think just relying on each other to ground us all the time. Obviously, there's lots of ebbs and flows in a hockey game, but when a moment like that happens, you kind of just got to take a step back and realize the guys you're doing it with and be able to kind of center yourself and next play mentality.
Well, can you talk about what it means to have Christian back today, his first game back, and did you guys talk about it coming up to this when you found out he was going to get the call?
Like, we don't really. You don't really talk much like when leading up to a game. Like, I think sometimes guys like being left alone. But obviously it's great having Christian back in the room. We have a really tight goalie group, and coming to the rink every day, seeing his face, it's like a lot better when he's not here. So glad he's back. He had a great start. Unbelievable performance. Unfortunately, just couldn't finish the game. So
I want to talk about that too. Just describe a little bit of any communication that happens during the game, because he was under a blitzkrieg out there. I mean, overall 60 shots over, for the whole game. Do you guys communicate at all during the, first period, second period before you had to leave?
No, I just leave Christian alone with that. But when I saw him start cramping up, then it was time to okay, I got to go in and finish the game here. But that's it pretty much.